Good day and welcome back to another World of Warcraft video. In this video I thought we could talk about some general tips basically on how to get back into World of Warcraft. So these are going to be super duper general, and basically we just want to get a good feel for exactly what players should consider doing to really kind of integrate themselves back into WoW. So these will be applicable at any time, but they're also going to be super general, not relating to any patch. I'll do something specific to that a little bit later. But firstly, update your mods. It's super important to update your mods. Firstly, you don't want to enter the game and have that stupid annoying warning about add-ons being out of date. But also updating your mods will give you some sense of comfortability and also, kind of feeling like you're connecting back with what you were doing beforehand. Also consider using a fresh new character, especially if you've been out for a while. Chances are you're probably going to be running through catch-up mechanics, and you should consider doing something different, especially if you burnt out from playing only one class. There's also this really cool little kind of bonus that they give if you need to, or using quite an old character, whereby they give you some bags, they help you clean up the quest log, teleport to a city, and just kind of get started with a little bit of a head start. So definitely a good incentive and something you should consider doing, especially if you burnt out because you played only one class. Next, we're going to talk about cleaning up that quest log. Now, you don't have to get rid of every quest. A lot of people like to hoard quests. I hoard quests all the time. But sometimes cleaning up that quest log, especially when you've got a whole bunch of weeklies you never did, when you got a whole bunch of dailies you never did, when you got a whole bunch of rep quests or quests from Pandaria that you took and were working on, but then you stopped doing them, and raid quests from back when you were clearing some raids for Transmog. And when you've got all these quests, it can make the quest log a pain, but it can also make tracking what you want to keep and do and still is relevant to you very difficult. So by cleaning out that quest log, reading through what quests you have, and just seeing where you are in general, gives you a good idea of where you may want to begin. Maybe while going through your quest log, you'll realize that you didn't finish the quest line for a certain area, and you're going to start there, complete that, and then get into the swing of things from there. Next, let's talk about cleaning up that bank and bags. So along with quests, the second most important thing to clean up is your bank and bags, and there's a couple reasons why. Firstly, reagents. So not all of them are relevant anymore. Some of them are probably out of date depending on how long you've been playing, and chances are you probably gave up doing professions anyway. So either you get to decide to go back into professions, or alternatively you can sell all these materials while they still may be somewhat relevant, or even still hold some kind of value, to get yourself some cash and get yourself head started, but also just to continue conceptualizing that fresh start that we're continuing to do. Not only that, but you can assess your gear and the gear that you have in your bag. I mean, a great example is the Primordial Ring. You already have it fully equipped out. Chances are it's about to be replaced within nanoseconds. And realistically speaking, do you need to keep all of these obscure stones? Rather sell them, get rid of them, clear up the space in your bag, and just refresh everything. You're probably not going to go to the Ascara Vaults. It's not going to be a big gameplay activity for you, since there's been 18 content updates since then. So for now, maybe deleting them and getting that fresh start, or selling them, is going to give you a good kind of momentum going forward. And the same thing can be said for plenty other items. So cleaning up that bag kind of goes hand in hand with quests, but it also just enables you to free up space and mean that when you do start to do something, whether it's professions or questing, you're not hindered by the clutter that you had before. Next is talents. So the reason why talents are close to the end is because this section will take you quite a lot of time. You may want to look up a build on something like Icy Veins or WoW builds, or any of the common websites, or maybe you just want to read through your talents and see if there's been any changes. You may want to practice your rotation, check what spec you're going to play, and just basically fool around before you really start playing. It's super important not to practice your rotation so that you're super perfect, but to get a feel for the class. Are you playing it? Do you feel good? Especially since we may be playing a fresh alt, it's time to maybe fiddle around with the build a bit, fiddle around with the layout of the combat abilities, and just in general really try and get in touch with the class again. Before we start questing, before we start really playing around, if we can set up our talents and everything to enable us to have fun gameplay or get a grip with our class, even if we're doing PvP, it tends to give us a nice feel when we start to actually take on content. And then finally, start small. Scan the Adventurer's Guide. It actually is a pretty good tool for starting things. Look at things like your first weekly quest. Look at doing some things like Raid Finder for the current raid. I know a lot of people don't like Raid Finder, and I'm someone who enjoys raiding. I enjoy normal raids. I enjoy heroic raids. I enjoy these type of things. But yeah, doing Raid Finder is also just a great way to get back in touch with the story. It's a great way to really get in touch with the cutscenes, get a feel for where things are, especially if you've been out for a while. It will give you some upgrades. It will allow you to improve that gear, and just basically gives you a little bit of momentum going forward. Maybe it's only for the first week, and you just do it, you get back in touch with the story, and from there, you can kick things off. You can do Mythic Plus, you can do normal raids, you can do whatever you want. But I think it's important for you to consider starting small. Even if you're a super good veteran, even if you're someone who's got ahead of the curve from before. I have ahead of the curve from Season 1, and I don't think I'll be able to get for Season 2, but even I would consider doing Raid Finder, especially if you're getting in touch with a new class. Could be a great way to learn the boss mechanics and just get back in the zone with everything. Same with mega dungeons, same with dungeons in general. Just start off small, get yourself back into the groove, grab yourself a couple upgrades, and just get back into the swing of things. From there, you should start to really feel the momentum and get going. But that's it. That's just 5 very general tips about how to, kind of improve your odds of getting back into WoW. That's going to be it from me. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the next one. So until then, take care and bye.